just wanted to say our 1-year target that you already mentioned is to get to 15 million next year. And for us to do that, we think the most important thing over the next year is just going to be to launch a bunch of new products again. So we've been talking about that all this past year, but we have a target of launching probably over 30 products in the next year, new products within our niches where product lines we're already working on, but just getting more new products. That's what we think could get us from the 10 million mark ish, maybe 11 to the 15 over the next year. And to go on what you said, maybe someone listening is saying, that's great, but how do I just get my first million? And you kind of touched on that. But I think when it comes to products, to get to your first million, for us at least, and in our experience, just focusing on one good product, $1 million product or niche is the way to go at first. You can't get too broad. You can't be all over the place. And that's what we did. Our first year of selling it was just a couple SKUs within one very specific target niche market that got us to the 1 million mark, because you just need sales. You need to get something going. So for that first million, it's probably going to be just you, and you're just selling one or couple products within a niche really aggressively, and all of your attention's just on that. Then once you're able to get to that million a year mark ish, to get from 1 to 10 in our experience, that's when you need to look at launching a lot of new products aggressively. And so that's what we did. We've talked about this before, but early last year, we had a quarter where we launched 15 new SKUs or products that were all good, a lot of attention there in one quarter. And those products now, a year later, I believe in Q3 this year, they made up about a third of our sales. So extremely important to our bottom line this year was those launching new products. So to get to 1 million, focus on one niche, one product, even maybe just 1 to 3 products in that space. Make sure they're good. Make sure that product's really good, has some type of unique, specific differentiator. 1 to 10, you got to launch a lot of products. That's what we're seeing, at least, and what we expect.
And, when we're talking about that, probably some of our listeners are like, man, really one product brings $1 million a year. And you would really be surprised at the number of products on Amazon where there's really only 1 or 2 listings of this product that are generating millions of dollars in sales. So again, when we talk about product discovery, the way that we really approach it is we try to look what's already selling on Amazon. In fact, we have our team now searching for a product. There is a listing on Amazon right now that does $4 to $5 million in sales, and they are the only seller of this product in America. So this Amazon listing is the only one that sells a product of this nature. And so, for us is like, hey, look, let's go and try to find one that's similar. Let's make it better. And we can compete with this seller that right now they have one listing, again, selling $4 to $5 million a year, right?
Yeah. So, that's where we're at now, where we're trying to target more to kind of spread out a little bit. So whether it's through acquisition or new niches and, a couple other just kind of practical things we're doing right now that, sellers might want to consider is we're actually going to your point on outsourcing. We're working with a branding agency next week that's actually going to help us on our branding. Up to this point, our branding's been a little haphazard. Our naming, our graphics has all kind of been in-house and good, but not great. And that's what we're going to be working with this branding agency. So we're looking at doing that and then just launching lots of new products under this umbrella of really good branding. But again, when you're getting your first million, in our opinion, you shouldn't go and hire a branding agency probably to get you to your first million. That's usually what people with venture funding and money backing do. You just have to, do your best, put a lot of effort into it, but get to that proof of concept of that million before you go and do. So we're just now finally at 10 million working with some more professional agency. And maybe we should have done that earlier, but at least we have the money coming in, the profits that can sustain what we're doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, along with that, as we go from 10 to 30, we're tightening up our systems. So, we're realizing that our inventory system probably needs some type of robust software, because the more you grow, the more inventory becomes hard to manage. So that's like another thing that we're working on, thinking going from 10 to 30.